Yeah, let us start the session.
Yeah, sure.
Right, Oracle Fusion HCM product, since you're already working on, what is the difference between, cloud product and on-premise product, what is SAS, and all, right? So Oracle Fusion HCM is a SaaS product, software as a service product, based on client or customer demand. Oracle provides the pod instance, to automate their business process.
Yeah.
So here, Oracle has many modules which requires for the organization called HCM or SCM, supply chain management or finance, CRM. So we are going to discuss about human capital management. Human capital management is a ERP, enterprise application, which automates from attracting talent or hiring, onboarding, then exiting. So it takes care of employee activities, full employee life cycle. Then let us come to the cloud product. So earlier we have e-business, PeopleSoft, Siebel. So Oracle combined all this product and they take in important specific features. Then they made it as a fusion. So in fusion, some features are from EBS, some features are from PeopleSoft, some features are from Big AdWords. So it's a mixed product. That is the reason they named it as a fusion, and it came to the market 2011 or 2012. So that time the product was not stable, and I mean they try to apply patches on a 6 months basis or 3 months, every 3 months basis. Then now the product is stable. So now we have modules called global HR and absence and compensation, talent modules. Again, in talent modules we have performance management, goals management, profile management, talent reviews, then payroll module. We have other modules also, like help desk, health and safety modules, workforce rewards, benefits modules are there. So basically, why we need to choose the cloud product? This cloud product is, there will be no maintenance, there will be no upgrade maintenance, there will be no infrastructure cost, there will be no operational cost. So it is like kind of plug-in product where you can hire some consultants, you can start your business process. So you don't need to buy license. Like in EBS or PeopleSoft, you have to buy the license and you have to maintain your own infrastructure. Whereas in Fusion, you don't need to buy the license. Okay.
Yeah.
Let us come to.
When they use IaaS, PaaS, and SaaS, right? Different.
Yeah. Yes. But we use SaaS. If you want to develop any web application into, using Oracle products, then we can go to the PaaS. Yeah. So initially it was designed for the on-premise, but at the time of development, many products came as a cloud. Then they changed it as a cloud. Now it is stable now. But every 6 months you will be having patches. If you don't opt, it will be applied automatically.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Phases. Software development lifecycle. First of all, what are the phases we will be having when product started implementing?
Okay.
Like plan phase, design, build, and deploy. So these are the phases we will be having. In plan phase, discovery phase. First of all, you need to plan the project. First of all, you need to go to the client and you need to take the requirement. When client buy the product, he will be having two parts by default. he will be having test pod and prod pod by default. So if you are interested, then you can buy one more pod day one or day two.
Yeah.
So by default, you will be having system administrator access. But using Oracle Metalink, that our client supervisor will get the credentials. Using that, you need to start the development. First phase is plan phase. I mean discovery phase.
Okay.
Discovery phase means we need to identify the requirement. We need to capture the requirement, and we need to understand what is their legacy system, how their organization structure, how their enterprise structure works. These and all you need to consider, and we need to plan. So generally, what we call discovery phase. This one. In discovery phase, where you need to maintain all requirement gathering sessions, business team discussions, and all you need to maintain. Then plan. So first what we have to do, once you get the requirement discussion, you can show the product vanilla with vanilla implementation, the basic features to the client, right? Once you show the basic features to the client, then you can start the developing in their instance. In that plan, first of all, you will be having conference room pilot CRP1 and CRP2. So in CRP1, you can show the demo with their as per their requirement. Again, you will be getting enhancements, or you will be getting they may not like the functionality, or they may not satisfied with the functionality we develop. So again, we need to take their feedback and we need to consider. Then we need to schedule the CRP2 session, conference room pilot 2 session. So once everything is over, then in design phase we have to load their legacy system data into the current system. Then once you done, then again SIT, system integration test. Then we need to build test cases. Once you build the test cases, you need to get the sign off from the client. They are going to do the test cases with the data we have. Once you done SIT, then UAT, user acceptance test. Then with their data, this is the demo data. UAT with their employees' data, they are going to test. Once you get the sign off, then test to prod. Then we have to import the configurations, personalization, everything into the production. This is how it works. You got my point?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Now let us see, how to start the implementation. That we will see. And moving forward, as part of curriculum, we can discuss, we are going to discuss, how to maintain these templates in discovery phase. What are the templates we need to maintain, or in CRP1, how to get the sign off, and CRP2, how to get the sign off, and how to maintain the templates for the test cases, and all we are going to discuss in in forward classes.
Okay.
So this is the Fusion instance. The admin has to go to the first setup and maintenance. Right? What is setup and maintenance?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm already working. It's aware. I don't understand the implementation flow. I don't have idea. That's one.
Okay. Yeah, I got input from
Understand
Bhaskar.
other
That is the reason, I started with this phases.
Okay.
I hope you understood these phases, right?
Yeah. This is also I am aware, but I don't understand the flow. Before I don't know the flow, how it will flows.
Okay, no issues. So in FSM, so you'll be having different tasks here: manage implementation projects,
Yeah.
copy configurations, manage configuration package. So in moving forward, we are going to discuss how to once you've done the setup, how to migrate from one pod to another pod, one instance to the another instance setups.
Yeah.
We cannot do manually, right? Suppose if client is having 4 pods, we cannot create manually in all 4 pods, right?
Yeah, we need to copy. Yeah, that's
We need to copy. So how to copy the configuration? That is, we have to do the import and export and import process using packages, configuration packages. So that we will discuss how to import setups, and again how to import approval workflows. How to migrate approval workflows, how to maintain, migrate setups, then how to migrate personalization. These are all we will discuss. Okay.
Yeah, configuration packages, I have some knowledge. So
Okay.
currently PBL to HDL they are doing, right? Oracle itself. So I've done that package and all. Flows and all I did. Compiled fast formulas, everything was fine. But I don't have much knowledge in it, but I have some understanding what that area will do.
Okay, no issues. Then, right, these are the offerings you'll be getting.
Yeah.
So these are the different offerings. So mainly for HCM, we have 3 offerings: workforce deployment and development and compensation management. Okay.
Okay.
So global HR, absence, OTL all comes under workforce deployment.
Yeah.
Payroll
Okay.
all comes under workforce deployment. Workforce development, all talent modules learning and all comes under workforce development.
Okay.
Then compensation management, compensation related task will be getting. Okay.
Yeah.
If you want to
Rewards is
opt,
also there, right? Workforce rewards like benefits, other things will come, right?
yeah. If you want to opt the features, any other features, you have to go to the offerings.
Okay.
So in offerings, you can opt the features. You can check the status here. Suppose if you want to opt the features workforce development, then you can check the
Okay.
status. If it is not enabled, then if you already bought the license, then you can opt in. You can click on opt-in feature so that you will be getting
So I heard in this one by
list of
default,
offerings.
every option will be available. So whatever you got license, you need to use, right? In the enterprise structure, the offerings.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Suppose first you buy workforce deployment. The later stage, if you buy workforce development,
Okay.
then what you have to do, you have to go to the offerings and you have to choose that offer.
Okay. Just one question, like where we can check like what exactly we bought, like license. For example, if say we and a new company, their
Hmm.
core HR, absence, and compensation. That's it.
Yeah,
So how they are gonna know we bought only these three? Because
correct.
offering area there is a problem, right? They would have by default all will be available.
No, by default it will not be available. It is, since it's a demo instance, it is available. But if you
Yeah,
go
yeah.
to the real time,
Okay.
currently, I mean, you'll be getting only workforce deployment or development.
Okay.
Many small, I mean, not all offerings you'll be getting.
Okay. Okay.
I'm sure
That's
that
what I want.
it depends on the license. I mean, it depends on the what you bought.
Okay. So that we can see in the offering section itself, right? There itself we can.
Correct. Offering sections, or you can go here, offering.
Okay.
You can check here also, which is enabled or which is not enabled.
Oh,
Let us take help desk. If
okay.
you, generally, I mean, see, this is not enabled.
Okay. Okay.
Then what you can do, opt-in features you can do.
Okay. If you want, we can opt in futures and make it, pay it, and
Yeah, correct. And these are the list of setup tasks available as per the modules.
okay.
So there the sequence of the task needs to be done, as part of the implementation. It's a guided process.
Okay.
First, you have to go to the enterprise profile, then legal structure, organization structure, workforce structure. Then again, once you do the basic setup data, then what you have to
Okay.
do, you have to load the data from legacy
Yeah.
system to the current system. Once you load the data,
Yes.
then again you have to configure the other things. So they are the list of tasks to be done as part of the implementation as per the module.
Okay. Okay. That's fine.
Okay,
Yeah.
let us start with the Fusion enterprise structure. So what do you
Okay.
know about enterprise structure generally?
That's the basic, right? So if you're
Mhm.
having a company, if I'm telling I want to go for Oracle, they'll put my company name and they'll ask for geography. That's how it flows, right? First, nothing but your organization structure. Is it correct explanation or what is the correct explanation?
So enterprise is ultimate holding company. Right that.
What is it? Sorry, alternate.
Ultimate holding company. I mean,
Okay. Ultimate. Okay. Okay.
so you can maintain enterprise as a headquarter, where a headquarter located, but as an enterprise.
Okay.
Okay. So here, as part of enterprise structure, we are having uh, enterprise and division, so legal entity, then business unit,
Divi-
then department. Okay.
Yeah.
when is division required? Suppose if they want to, they want to separate as per the product wise or as per the geography wise, then division is required. Suppose if you take the years, North Division, East Division, South Division, like that they can divide. Or if you want to divide as per the product, then you can divide as per the product also. Like, let us take the Oracle
Yeah.
Enterprises. The Oracle Enterprises is a enterprise. Okay. Under enterprise, you can divide into the divisions like Oracle America division, and Oracle Europe division, and Oracle APAC division. Huh? Like that you
Yeah.
can divide.
That's right.
Or you can divide as per the product also, not geography.
Yeah.
Product means, let us take Oracle Financial Services is a division, and Oracle Software Services as a division, Oracle Educational University is a division. Like that you can partition. It's up to you whether how you are going to maintain the hierarchy. But
Okay.
division is not a mandatory.
Okay.
And division is not a mandatory.
So
Legality. First of all, we have to understand the client existing organization structure. Okay. Based on that, we need to decide how many divisions needs to create, how many legal entities need to create, or how many business units or department. Okay. So legal entity, when legal entity comes in picture,
it's country specific, right? Legal system, name itself is space.
no, it's not about country specific. It's about which company is responsible for paying employees.
Okay.
For paying employees, paying taxes, social security related.
Okay.
You understood?
Yeah, yeah, got it. So you mean to say like America, then America, like,
See, actually legal entity, it owns the asset of enterprise.
okay, fine.
It owns the asset of enterprise, and this this legal entity should be responsible for recording profit loss, sales, taxes. And this organization should be responsible for paying employees and expense related. You understood?
Yeah, got it.
In Oracle Enterprise, we are having different legal entity. Let us take this also, you can consider legal entity. Oracle Financial Service legal entity, or Software legal entity, or
Yeah,
Oracle Education University. Suppose when you join the Oracle, you'll not be
yeah,
getting offer letter as Oracle Enterprise, right? You'll be getting
yeah,
offer letter, appointment letter, Oracle Financial Services, or Software Services, or some manufacturing something, or
yeah,
Oracle University, right?
yeah.
That organization should be responsible for paying employees, right?
That's right. Yes.
Yeah. So this is what about a legal entity. So first of all, we should understand from the client perspective how many sub organizations are available and how many countries those are available. These are under we should consider.
Okay.
So first of all, the organization is single country or multiple countries. If it is multiple countries, how many countries the organization exists?
Okay.
Then if based on that you need to create LDG. You know, right? LDG to partition the payroll data.
Yeah, legislative data group. Yes.
Yeah, partition the payroll data. Since you already into technical, you know, right? Creating elements and all.
Yeah, that I can. Yeah, that I am
Yeah.
aware.
So elements you cannot create globally. It's specific to LDG, right?
Yeah, yes, correct.
Yeah, that is where you have, you have to partition the payroll data. You should use LDG. Okay. So let us take one more example.
But LTG, is it specific to payroll or it will be used here? Because I heard this terminology in payroll, but
See,
other than that, where they will use any?
correct. See, specific to payroll, LDG, I mean, to process the employee payroll, it depends on the LDG only. That is where you have to use mainly.
Yeah.
But elements is the basic building blocks. I mean, basic block for let us take to store the data,
Yeah, that's right.
whether it comes to global HR or benefits or compensation. But these all elements will be processed in payroll.
Correct.
Yeah. So let us take XYZ Corporation, I mean, as a enterprise. Okay. Then based on their product, like our construction.
Yeah, they might have countries or they can put products.
Countries also you can make it as division, or business wise also basic also you can make division. Then if their organization exists in multiple countries like Japan or US, UK, India, that you can create a legal entity again.
Okay, so product wise, inside product, if they are having if they are running in multiple countries, then you can go for legal entity. In the legal entity, you can divide this and okay, understood. Yeah, got it.
Okay, and these are not dependent on each other; they're independent. There is no specific rule that you should create division under enterprise only.
Okay.
Enterprise is the ultimate holding company. This should be the highest one.
Yeah, it will be default, right? By default.
Yeah, when you buy the product, by default, enterprise will be created in your application, in your pod with the client name. Later, you can make changes.
And as per Fusion, one enterprise only allowed, right? Not multiple.
Correct. As per Fusion, one enterprise only available. If you have sub-organizations or subdivisions, then you have to configure among these.
Okay. So
in subdivision also you can
use of division. So for example, if you are having enterprise, we can directly go for legal entity. So why division is coming in between? What is the use or any specific reason for that?
Suppose if you want to maintain security as per the division, or if you want to maintain the sales profit and loss as per the division, division manager as per the division. If you want to maintain the profit and loss as per the product, then
got
you
it.
can consider.
For example, if they are selling, take it Nestle, they are selling Maggie everywhere in the world.
Yeah.
And everywhere, so that's they will keep it that as a division and food process.
They can make it as a division. I mean, US as a one division, Europe as a one division, and Gulf as a one division.
Yeah, because you know why I'm asking this, right? Because I'm writing queries, normal queries, and use this terminology anywhere. So that's why I was just asking why division.
Yeah.
You can go for enterprise table is there, legal entity, business unit, everything table is there. But I never heard, so that's why I was asking. Is it table name is there specific for division or?
No, it's not about table name. It's about suppose. Okay, let me ask one question. You are using queries, right? Which table you are using? HR organization units.
Yeah, right? Units F, TL, everything classification.
Correct. What is the classification you give?
Yeah, that will define that one. What we are looking for, department or.
Yeah, maybe in your organization, the client you are working, maybe they are not using division. Okay.
Okay.
So generally, there will be a classification called division also.
What is it? Sorry.
There will be a classification called division.
Oh, division. Yeah, that's what I never seen. So that's why I was curious. What?
Maybe the client you are working, they may not be using. Maybe they are existing in less countries or only one country. In that case, there is no division concept required, right? They can create legal entity or they can create business unit directly.
Yeah. Okay.
No divisions required. So it's not dependent on each other. Under enterprise, you can create legal entity or you can create business unit also.
Okay.
Under business unit, you can create legal entity. Those are all not dependent on each other. But how to maintain this hierarchy? How to configure this hierarchy? Like how system knows that under enterprise only division comes, under division only legal entity comes. That how system knows. You might have this doubt, right?
Yeah. That's what that's what I don't understand the flow. Like,
Yeah. For that, you have to maintain the organization tree.
yeah.
In organization tree, we have trees, 4 trees: position tree, department tree, organization tree, geography.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. 5 trees, right? Totally. 5 should be. I think so.
Yeah, we use mainly 4, right?
Mm.
So organization tree, you have to maintain basic, first node, highest node is enterprise.
Okay.
Then next node, if you are using legal entity, then legal entity is secondary node. Like
Okay.
that, you have to define hierarchy. It can be
Oh,
configured manually, or you can load the data using dot file. HDL, using HDL.
HD. Okay.
Yeah. So in HDL, you have to specify what is the parent organization, what is child organization.
Okay.
That number you have to specify. In that way,
That's
you can create organization tree. Then you can build security on top of that. Suppose if you don't want employees to access the highest level of employees, then using organization tree you can secure the data. Or using divisions also you can secure the data. Using business unit also you can secure the data.
okay. Okay. By
Suppose
roles,
if you
you're
want to
saying
secure the data at division level also, divisions can be used. If you want, you can
okay.
secure the data using business unit level also.
Roles, right? Using roles, you can restrict or tree itself.
Roles and security profiles we need to create for that.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Understood.
Roles we will discuss. As part of the course, I'll give list of objects we are going to cover.
Sure. Sure.
And this enterprise we can configure manually. Means what you have to do, you can go to the setup and maintenance, then you can go to the manage enterprise HCM information, then you can create, right?
Yeah. Manage geography, manage everything. You can.
Yeah, everything you can create, or you can go to the here and you can take the list of required tasks or all tasks. It will be showing
Okay.
all tasks. Okay,
So,
but
but
creating
people usually will load it.
sorry.
No, if they are consider this as a new setup, right?
Hmm.
So, they will go for one by one, manage geography one, next
Uh,
page.
Prabhu, your voice is breaking.
No. Now is it okay now?
Yeah, correct.
So my question is like, will they go one by one? Like they'll manually go to manage geography and create it?
No.
They
That's what I'm going to tell.
HCL.
See,
Oh, okay, sure.
if you are consultant, if you are experienced consultant, you know what to create first, what not to create. First, you have to go to enterprise. Then next is not legal entity. There are many other setups also. Legal report. This one, legal address,
Okay,
legal entity HC information, legal entities, and business unit set assignment. Many setups are there. Okay.
okay, yeah.
But Oracle has one more functionality called enterprise structure configurator. You know
Okay.
that?
No, I don't know.
Okay. Enterprise structure configurator is a guided flow, which will guide you a list of setups needs to be done as part of the organization setup.
Okay.
Okay. So what you can do, it is a kind of tool. It will guide you, process of setting up basic enterprise structure.
Okay. So is it within the
Using enterprise structure, you can define the organization structure, a job position, and enterprise. Okay. What you can do, you can quickly create enterprise structure, organization structure using ESC, enterprise structure configurator. Then you
Okay.
can take the report. Then you can get the sign off from the client. If he satisfies, you can load the same enterprise structure into the application. If he not satisfies, you can roll back that. Then you can create another approach.
Okay.
You understood?
Yeah. So that is a separate tool or it is available in.
No. I'm going to show. Define.
No, I think 20B and 20A. These people removed something, right?
No, actually, I doing wrong spelling.
Yeah.
Spelling it. Define
Yeah. Okay.
enterprise.
Yeah. Define enterprise. No, in 20B something's removed, right? Before I will give manage fast
Yeah,
from.
yeah.
Now I
Correct.
can
They
just type
removed.
fast.
That is the reason I need to type with this one. See, you can see, right? Establish
Yeah.
enterprise structure. See, these are the list of tasks to be done. Reference data
Okay.
set. We will discuss one by one. What is reference data set? How to secure the data using reference data set? How
Okay.
to map that to the business unit or to which objects we can map, location, department, how we can secure the data in the reference data set.
So here it will tell you like the flow or the order, how you should fill.
Correct, correct.
So this will use for all the time? Like this is what people are doing now, or they are doing manually also, or they're using this mostly?
To be frank, this is a guided flow you can create, and
Okay.
you can show the basic setup to the client.
Okay.
But generally, what we do, experienced consultants, people who are taking the requirement from the client, they might be experienced only, right?
Okay. Yeah.
So what they do, they just go to the setup and menu, they create a basic setup.
Oh, okay.
And one thing, first one is when you are showing demo to the client, it will not be under client instance. It will be under your demo instance.
Yeah.
Once you first you discuss with the client. Once bidding is done, they'll be having one requirement document, right? That they'll give it to you. Based on that, you need to configure with the basic features in your demo instance.
Yes.
Once you've done the demo instance configuration, then you will be having bootcamp session.
Correct.
In bootcamp session, where you have to explain to the client all features. Then client will understand the product functionality. Then he will give the requirement. Boss, this is my existing requirement. This is the existing product. Now, as per your features, it should be like this. They give the requirement. You'll be having MOM session. You'll be gathering MOMs and all. Based on that, you have to configure. Then you'll be having CRP1, CRP2 sessions. Okay.
Okay.
So to create the enterprise, you go here.
Basically, what happened in my things, right? What I was in my company, client will directly give the test instance, so they will start there directly.
No. Actually, how client knows that they have to see. You have to understand one thing. Client doesn't know about Fusion product. How he will access Fusion instance and all?
No, that's what. So they will get the license and everything. Then we will do the rest.
Correct. That is true only.
As of like that only, I know. I seen.
Yeah, it depends on the project plan you have.
Yeah.
See, if you take the test instance to show the demo, you have to create some dummy employees, right?
Correct.
Your organizations will not agree to create the dummy employees.
Yes.
Okay, that time what you have to do, you have to go to the demo instance, you have to show the setups, right? Features.
Yeah. But what I'm telling about what they are doing in my company, I never seen they going for demo.
Yeah.
Take the test instance and the client allows basically whatever the client I work, they are okay with the demo test.
It depends on the terms and conditions you have. Mainly, we will be having multiple sessions with the client to get the requirement clearly.
Yeah.
If requirement is not clear, whatever you done, it's a waste of.
Yeah, that's right.
There are many failed cases, in UAT or SIT, many failed cases, implementations, because requirements are not proper, and that to client is not. He is not confident what requirement he gives sometimes.
No, client will not be technical that much, so you have to make them understand and give data.
And we have to put their requirement into the application. We have to make them understand.
Yes, right.
Yeah. So you can give the short name and primary industry.
Okay.
See here, this is where legal information you can provide.
Oh, this is like a flow. Okay, a predefined flow.
Correct. Headquarters country you can provide.
Okay, so if we are not using this, then we need to go manually one by one. Manage first this.
Manage enterprise information. Manage legal entity.
Yeah. So which one is good? That one is good, right? Manage, then you will understand. You will have better understanding, right?
Correct. That one is good. But this one also good for guided flow. If you want to show a little bit, it all depends on the requirement. If you want to see the basic setup, how you are going to create in a Fusion, then immediately you can go to the enterprise.
So this is for quick setup, right? If they want to see something, then you can quick setup and show to them. This is how it will look like.
Yeah. So these and all you can provide legal address.
Okay. So this and all will use predefined San Francisco.
So currently legal address is not configured here in this demo instance. Generally, you have to create the legal address by going manage legal address. So once you create, I'll show you how the flow will be. Okay.
Okay.
So let us take Vision Corporation. Okay. See here, first is enterprise. Okay.
Okay.
See, these are the divisions: APAC division, America division, European division. Okay.
Okay. They went for countries. Okay. Fine.
If you want, you can create. Okay.
Okay.
So based on that, it will recommend the legal entity also based on the this one. See, these are the countries.
Okay.
You can maintain the legal address. Then see here we have option to generate the automatically, or you can create manually also based on the divisions. Okay.
Okay.
Then here you will be having legal entities. Here also you are automatically generate business units or create manually.
BU level. Okay.
Yeah. See what are the BUs required. You can select the BUs. Then see these are the BUs.
Okay.
And reference data set. What is reference data set?
No, that I don't know. Every interview they ask me that.
Yeah, that is common actually to secure the data. We will discuss, where to apply reference data set. I mean, what
I had so many things. Enterprise set, common set, reference.
Correct. But enterprise set is going to diminishing. We are going to use common set, or you can create custom. You can go to the lookup and you can create and you can use.
Okay, custom one you say, custom set.
Suppose if you want to, if you don't want to employees to see the job details, suppose US country people should not see, US HR should not see the jobs of or positions, this one departments of UK, then you have to create the reference data set. You have to map the reference data set ID to that location you create. So,
okay, so mainly it is for security, right? Security.
Correct. To security and list of values, it will show only as per the reference data set.
Okay, understood.
Yeah. So once you create reference data set, you have to map the reference data set. So mapping reference data set to the business unit is a business unit set assignment actually. Okay. That we will discuss how to configure, how to map, and all we will discuss. Then location.
Location we can create manually manage locations and whatever.
Yeah, we can create, and so we can review and we can save and close. Once what you can do, you can see here load enterprise configuration. If you are satisfied, you can load. If you are not satisfied, you can roll back. Okay, this is how we have to configure the enterprise structure configurator. Okay.
Okay. Great.
Okay. This is about basic. Otherwise, I can due to time constraint, I'm not able to explain this enterprise.
Yeah, I can understand. Yeah, I can understand.
Enterprise, this one enterprise achieve information. I can show. Wait, let me open that also. Enterprise achieve information. See, this is where you have to go. Okay.
So what is this used for?
This is where you have to go to the enterprise, right? When you buy the product, you'll under this name only you'll be getting, right?
Okay.
See here, we will discuss moving forward. We will discuss what is how to configure this workday information. See, workday information we can configure at enterprise level, legal entity level, department level, assignment level, and work schedule also.
Work schedule I'm aware. Okay.
Yeah. So first of all, when you apply the options, you'll be getting default start time and end time, right?
Yeah. Yes. Correct.
Yeah. First, it will check whether it is configured in assignment level, or it will check work schedule level, or it will check department level, legal entity level, then enterprise level. Then it comes to enterprise level. Then these are the default timings. Okay. Still, if you are not configured in enterprise level also, then default timings will be 8 to some 8:30 to 5 something. Default time will come if you're not configured. Okay.
Yeah.
Then we will discuss how to configure what is worker number, what is person number, what is difference between person number, worker number, when we are going to use worker number. Suppose if you are transferring from one LE to the another LE, that organization will be having some different number sequence. If you want to maintain that number, then that number you can maintain in worker number. Because person number is a global, okay? It cannot be changed. Well, if you change the organization, if you transfer from business unit to business unit or LE to the LE, the person number is not going to change. But worker number, you can, let us take some TCS. TCS, I mean CMC acquired company, right? TCS acquired CMC, right? So they are having different person employee number generation. Okay,
Yeah.
that you can maintain under worker number. Okay, here we are having different generation again. Automatic. We will discuss all these things. Person number generation also we have different things: manual, automatic. Final save. What is the difference between prior to submission, final save?
Prior to submission means once they create itself, right? Create itself. If for example, if you are clicking new employee, there for the session itself it will automatically create, right? And the next option, I think, before saving, like 2 to 3 tabs after name, you're selecting legislative.
Yeah, once you give a basic information, review page, it will show. But at final save, once if it is approvals, once all approvals, then only person number will be created.
Oh.
So okay. So person number generation, automatic, manual is there. We will discuss that, and duplication check, and so this and all we will discuss moving forward.
So this area is mainly used for these activities, right?
Yeah. And what is employment model and all we will discuss. The employment model can be configured at enterprise level and entity level also. Yeah, so first system will check in a legal entity level. If it is not configured legal entity level, then it will take from enterprise level.
Okay.
So we will discuss all these things moving forward. And as part of the course, we will mainly cover global HR module. In global HR, we are going to cover transactions, all setups, checklist, lookups, flux fields.
It's almost you can say implementation level.
Everything. I mean, I have a list of tasks to be done for the implementation. Wait, I'll show that also. 1 minute.
Yeah.
Just give me. Are you able to see my screen?
Yeah, I can see the Excel file.
Yeah. These are the list of tasks we are going to cover. We are going to create as part of the course.
Okay.
In flux field also we are going to create extensible flux field and DFF descriptive flux field. KFF we will not create because we don't use much KFF in organization. But I'll explain what is KFF, what is the purpose of KFF, and all I'll explain.
Yeah, DFF I'm aware. I already created DFF. Global and local. That's fine.
Extensible I'll explain what is the difference between those and how to create and how to publish and all I'll explain. Document of records, checklist template, how to create approvals and all I'll explain. Then same way other modules also. Talent, what are the setups needs to be done, and in goals. Everything I'll explain actually.
Okay, sure. So what are the modules we are looking? So in consolidation, we are looking global HR, talent, compensation, and payroll, right?
Compensation?
No, you still
global HR,
we are going to look for
compensation.
Okay.
Absence management.
Okay.
Then talent. In talent, I'm going to cover profile management.
Okay.
Goal management. Goal management.
Goal. Okay.
And performance management.
Okay. Performance.
Okay. Performance management.
Okay.
Global HR, compensation, absence, and next one is payroll.
Payroll. Okay. Okay. This required fast formulas. Yeah. Except the global HR, everything is basically done on fast formulas. Yes.
Yeah. May I know which model you are comfortable generally? I mean, which model you worked on?
See, I worked on absence. I have idea about patterns, plans, types.
Okay.
That I'm aware. Compensation also I have some idea regarding plans, annual plan, quarterly plan.
Okay.
Inside that they will have either you can write a fast formula or inside the worksheet itself we have some area, right? You can some small formulas the requirement.
So as part of functional, we are going to cover these modules.
Okay.
Then then security, the roles part, security, approval workflows, personalization.
Okay.
it depends on your interest. If you're interested, then we will cover this also.
Okay.
Along with.
Personalization means this one, right? Form level, like use HCM Experience Design Studio, like that, or
Correct.
page
Yeah,
level?
page composer,
Okay,
changing the
that's
fields,
good.
enabling the fields. And
Yeah,
all.
because now these people are changing, right? I think you will be aware. They are
Yeah,
going to mobile response mode, responsive UI.
correct, correct.
So that also I'm working on. So I already am aware. Not an
No
issue.
issue. I mean, if you that's what
Aware.
it
But
depends on your interest. I'll
I
cover.
didn't know about this page customization. Whatever I'm doing here, just making it visible, not visible. That's
Okay.
what I'm doing.
So
But I don't know.
depend upon the dynamic, like based on the role. If you want to enable disable, that I'll show you.
Okay, that's great.
Yeah. So this is the other things we are going to cover.
Okay.
Okay. Any doubts?
Yeah, this is fine. This is fine. So just you can let me know. Okay, I'll talk with the Bhaskar